Welcome back to another video, and this one I'm going to be talking about one of the greatest midfielders of all time, Luka Modric. 40 years of age, still going strong, instrumental to AC Milan's title charge. What a player, what a man. If anyone wants to be a footballer in the near future and you want to be a central midfielder, don't take stuff from Luka Modric and try and mold it into your own style. Because there's certain players that are just anomalies that what they can do with a football, not many people can do. And Luka Modric definitely fits into that category. Special player. Tier 1. You talk about the Xavis, the Iniestas, the Toni Kroos, the Zinedine Zidanes. To me, I got 5 midfielders in that tier 1 category. And Luka Modric, come on man. Definitely up there. Messi and Ronaldo fanboys tried their absolute best to tarnish his name, to ruin his legacy and have people believe in stuff that's just nonsense, all because he won an award that many people didn't believe that he deserved. Even if you take away that Ballon d'Or, he is still one of the greatest midfielders of all time. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notification. Without any further ado, let's get into this one. And if you believe this version of Luka Modric is still pulling strings, the Luka Modric from way back when he was at Tottenham, different levels. What is it? Euro qualifiers 2007, Croatia versus England. I'll never forget what he done to the likes of Gerrard and Lampard in that midfield. He absolutely bossed them. That was baby Modric bossing two of the greatest midfielders English football has ever seen and legends of the sport. And that's when he was like, this Luka Modric might be special. Bear in mind, I think he was like 22, 23 at the time. And then he got his move to Tottenham. Carabao Cup final, 2009. Obviously, Tottenham lost to Manchester United. In my opinion, that was Manchester United's greatest ever team. Yes, I said it. It's better than their treble-winning team for me. It had more quality personally. And Luka Modric in that pitch, in that midfield, they had like some Michael Carrick and Paul Scholes. Luka Modric, he held his own. He held his own, pulling his strings, trying to get Tottenham to win. Unfortunately, Tottenham lost, but Luka Modric can go home with his head held high because he put in an absolute clinic on that day. And his stocks was rising at Tottenham. He was getting better and better and better. And then Chelsea really wanted him badly, but Daniel Levy was never going to sell him to Chelsea. He was never going to sell him to Chelsea. So they kept Luka Modric for one more season, got 4th, missed out on Champions League football as Chelsea went on to win the Champions League in 2012, so they had to drop down to Europa. And Luka Modric got his move. But he got his move to the biggest club in the world, to many people, Real Madrid. People was questioning the signing. He's good, but is he really that good? And in his first season at Real Madrid, he was voted the worst signing in La Liga. So it started off terribly for him. But you don't turn into a bad player overnight. You don't do that. Not at all. And from that point on, 13, 14 onwards, amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm not going to be doing any comparisons. This is about Luka Modric. Instrumental in Real Madrid finally winning the Champions League for the first time since 2002 at the time. La Decima. He took the corner for Sergio Ramos' header. Luka Modric. The performance in the semi-final against Bayern Munich. Luka Modric pulling strings. In the midfield, they had that Sebastian Schweinsteiger. Toni Kroos, who went on to join Real Madrid and form that legendary trio with Casemiro, which I'm going to be talking about very soon. Instrumental. Luka Modric, he went from a very good player to a world-class player. And he was definitely in conversations with one of the best midfielders in the world at the time. And his stocks just continued to rise. Season in, season out, he got better and better. He was aging like fine wine. The next season, Real Madrid got to the semi-finals of the Champions League and he was injured. And I genuinely do believe if he wasn't injured, I think Real Madrid makes it to the final and we would have seen the first ever El Clasico Champions League final. But it wasn't to be. And then obviously the next year, he was in the midfield. And then the likes of Toni Kroos came the year before, the 15-16 one. And then Casemiro and Zidane came in. The man management was key. Casemiro, Kroos, Modric, box to box, dictating, scoring goals, making intelligent passes, slowing the game down when needed, speeding the game up. What is it? 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Luka Modric. Nasty. Nasty work. Multiple team of the years. Multiple. And his Real Madrid career, I'm gonna take you lot through the achievement that this man has. Because it's not normal. So obviously his Real Madrid career is highly documented. Season in, season out, got better and better. Yes, when Ronaldo left, that season when Frankie de Jong, it looked like the torch was going to get passed from Luka Modric to Frankie de Jong. Because what Frankie de Jong did to him tonight, it wasn't pretty. But Luka Modric still reminded people, one bad season does not define a player. And he aged like fine wine. That 2022 Champions League run. PSG. He still had the legs. He still had the football IQ. He still had the quality. And he still had the X factor in him. X factor. The assist to Benzema. The ball carrying. Nasty. The defensive work. Leadership. Nasty. Nasty work. Nasty work. Real Madrid against Chelsea. Real Madrid looked dead and buried when Chelsea pulled it back. So there was aggregate. They needed inspiration. They needed individual quality. He steps up. Luka Modric with one of the greatest assists in Champions League history. The Trivela pass to Rodrigo, first time near post, and then Real Madrid went on to make it through as Benzema got another goal to send them through to the semi-finals, and then the rest was history. They went on to win their 15th Champions League with Luka Modric being the best midfielder, well, top 2 midfielders in the world with Kevin De Bruyne that season. So yeah, his Real Madrid career decorated, highly decorated. It's not just what he'd done in club level for his country, Croatia. He took them into World Cup contention, made it to the final in 2018 against England. Nasty work. The England midfield couldn't get nowhere near him. Argentina in the, what is it called? That in the group stage of the 2018 World Cup, that finish. Ridiculous, outside the box. And Luka Modric had a shot on him. He had an absolute ping on him, bro. That was a finish. And he was voted, what is it, the best player at the World Cup. Now, me personally, I believe Eden Hazard was the best player in the World Cup, but Luka Modric was definitely in my top 2. Because he was instrumental. I know people say that Croatia team had the likes of Rakitic, Mandzukic, Lovren, Sebastic, whatever you call his name, Perisic. Like, they got ballers in it. But let's be honest, Luka Modric was instrumental. He was their best player. He was orchestrating everything in that 2018 World Cup. And he eventually won the Ballon d'Or. Many people believe he didn't deserve it. Me personally, I believe I would have gave it to Ronaldo, personally. I would have gave it to Ronaldo. But at the same time, he deserved minimum top 3. Because he was absolutely amazing. I'm not even going to look at the GA. Just look at the performances he had for club and country. Hey, you're telling me that's not a top 3 player in the world? At least. Come on now. You're taking the mick. You're taking the mick. So, because of that now, again, you thought it was a one-off. 2022 to the semi-finals. Knocking out Brazil. He was one of the favourites for the World Cup. Obviously, he got dunked out by eventual winners Argentina. Obviously, Nations League final, I believe, or semi-finals. They didn't make it through. But he took Croatia from a team that's just getting into tournaments as participation. Even Euro 2008. Euro 2008, he was balling out as well, you know. He was balling out in Euro 2008. I forgot to mention that. To like being recognised as one of the best countries in the world. With Luka Modric at the heart of everything. He was the leader. He was the orchestrator. He was the talisman. He was him. With other good players alongside him. That helped the nation climb up the rankings. So, for me, it's a no-brainer. Now he's at AC Milan. He's still cooking, being arguably the best midfielder in the league. If that's not an all-timer, I don't know what is. I don't know what is an all-timer because, like, bro, he's definitely in my tier 1 for me. Definitely in my tier 1. Like, honestly, if you love football, you'll love Luka Modric. Let's be real. This is not normal. So let's look at honours. 4-time La Liga champion, 2-time Copa del Rey, Champions League. I think he's a 6-time Champions League winner. 6 times. He must have his own Champions League because it's a joke how much he has. To be fair, yeah, 3rd place in 2022 World Cup. Croatia Football of the Year, a record 13 times. 13 times. You see, Euro team in the tournament 2008. Tottenham Player of the Year 10-11. Squad of the Season 5 times. Team of the Season 21-22. La Liga's Best Player 13, 14, 15, 16. FIFA Pro World 11 6 times. Like he's one of the most decorated players in the history of football. So put some respect on Luka Modric's name because you're not going to see a midfielder like that for a very, very long time. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down in the comments below what's your thoughts on Luka Modric. Where would you rank him as one of the greatest midfielders of all time? For me, he's in my top 2. Him and Iniesta, you could go to the cafe, have a nice tea or coffee, whatever, and just have a nice conversation because let's be real, top 2, not 2. Them 2, definitely in that category. But yeah, man, thank you guys for watching. Until then, I'm out. Peace.